Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Tom and the crew are off today, but the show must go on, so settle in for a reloaded Gun Talk. Tom is getting geeky with ballistic testing, plus setting up security teams in churches and arguments to use when talking with an anti-gunner. All that and more on this reloaded Gun Talk.
All right, we're talking about guns and shooting and all sorts of stuff. Well, that's why we call it Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham. I'm your host here. If you'd like to join us, it's pretty easy. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. If you have a gun you want to tell me about, absolutely. If you have a shooting experience you want to pass along and relate, if you have a warning, if you have pretty much anything that has to do with guns, we will talk about it here. By the way, news alert, and this is a serious heads up, okay? And this is no kidding. A number of states, of course, have legalized marijuana, and also you can get the medical marijuana card in a number of states. We warned you about this. It's happening. ATF is showing up at doors and knocking on doors and taking guns away from people. If you have a medical marijuana card, you are prohibited from having a gun. Period. According to federal law. ATF is showing up. Hawaii, where guns are registered, is just sending letters to people say, hey, we see you have a medical marijuana card, and you also have registered guns. Here's a list of the guns that are registered. You need to have those at the police station by X time on a certain day. So, just a fair warning, if you own guns, you may not want to be participating in legal in your state, but illegal on a national basis marijuana use, whether it's medical marijuana or any other way. Just telling you, this is what's going on. All right, did you ever start a project, you think, this might be fun, and then it just kind of grows and grows and grows, and all of a sudden you're going, I don't know what this thing is now. I don't even recognize it. I think that may be what happened to our next guest. It is so cool to welcome Jim Downey here from Ballistics by the Inch, this cool website where, Jim, you're testing all this different stuff. You're an absolute gun geek, man.
Yeah, we certainly enjoy it.
Well, how did this thing start?
Well, it got started about a dozen years ago. One of my good friends was starting to get into guns, and he knew I'd been a shooter all my life. Mm-hmm. And he started asking me questions about, it's like, well, what's the most ideal barrel length for a given caliber for a carry gun and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, the rule of thumb is, you want a barrel that's about this long, but not that much longer, and so on and so forth. He said, well, what do you mean the rule of thumb is? Where's the data? Because he's a physicist. And he said, just give me some sites where I can go look this up. And I said, well, there's nothing that's published out there.
Right. And
he said, well, let's do the research. And I looked at him and I said, Jim, do you have any idea how much work you're talking about? And he said, oh, we'll do it. So we did. And, that was, we just celebrated our 9th anniversary, and now we've had something like 30 million people visit the site. We've got...
now, tell people what you do so they'll understand what we're talking about here.
Sure. Yeah, what we did was we had some custom barrels made for a Thompson Center Encore platform that were 18 inches long. And for any given cartridge, we would run a bunch of different ammo through it at 18 inches, chop it off an inch, dress the barrel, swab it out, and run the same ammo again through it, run it through again. That way, we did it all the way down to 2-inch barrel nub.
And you're chronographing it as you go. You're getting the velocities.
Yes, exactly. We were chronographing that as we went. Right. We got 6 data points for each type of ammo at each barrel length. And then we plotted that, and all the information, all the data sets and everything is available on our website, Ballistics by the Inch. Mm-hmm. And it lets people actually do their own assessment about what sort of trade-off they want between barrel length and power for any given cartridge or caliber.
Now, this is handgun cartridges right now, right?
Yeah. Okay. Pretty much just exclusively handguns. We did do 223 a few years ago, And some folks have been asking about, 300 blackout and some other things that are starting to show up, rifle cartridges that are starting to show up in
as
some
pistols.
handguns.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so if you have a 9-inch barrel, 300 blackout, how much are you going to lose, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay, so, all right, here's a question. Well, first of all, how many rounds do you think you have fired at this point?
At this point, it's something north of 25,000, and most of those were premium defensive ammo cartridges. But factory ammo, every bit of it. Yeah, so we've dropped a fair amount of money on this project over the years.
You think? Holy cow! Okay, all right. So now that you have the data, how did the rule of thumb stand up?
It didn't at all. Yeah, well, there's a huge difference between different types of cartridges. A 45 loses velocity over barrel length different than a 10 millimeter does. There's a huge difference at the low end where you go from a 1-inch to a 2-inch barrel or a 2-inch to a 4-inch barrel. Oh. You see a great deal of increase there. But then the curve flattens out, and so you don't see the same change. You may get 300 feet per second between 3 and 4 inches, but you'll only get 40 feet per second between 9 and 10 inches barrels. Okay,
well, that's interesting because, I've heard for years people say, for instance, in the 1911, a 5-inch barrel is standard. Yes, you can go 4-inch. When you go to 3-inch, the people say, well, you may be losing enough velocity where it's actually not going to have enough energy to open up a hollow point and all. So I think what I hear you saying is they may be right. When you start dropping from 5 inches to 3 inches, you could really be losing some serious velocity.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing to do is, we put all this up there on the web so that people can look at it themselves and kind of make their own decisions. Mm-hmm. And it's all free. There's no advertising there or anything. People can take a look at it all day long. We know we have people who have been using it as a reference site for years now. And you can make your own judgment, You can actually see, and some people have done some really interesting research using our numbers, and they've come up with, some understanding of ballistics that's outside my ken. But, they say, hey, do you realize that as a general rule, if you go with a lighter weight bullet out of a shorter barrel, you get a better performance, and those sorts of things.
So this is the kind of thing that people like you and me can sit here. I'm on the site now. By the way, it's ballisticsbytheinch.com. And you've got all these graphs, and I know it sounds insane, but I can just geek out on this and going, okay, well, let's look at the Federal 180 grain Hydroshock in the 10 millimeter, and if we went from a 6-inch barrel down to a 4-inch carry gun, how much are we going to lose? And
yeah,
is that
exactly.
And the other part is that important?
Exactly. Yeah, you always have to make those decisions about what kind of trade-off you want. For concealed carry, and that's why we got started on this.
Sure.
You always have a trade-off between, okay, do I want to be lugging around some big old gun that has a 10-inch barrel, or do I want to go ahead and go with a little J-frame with a 1 7/8-inch barrel?
Right.
And that's a reasonable trade-off. You have to make your own decisions about what you want to do.
And by testing it with a lot of different kinds of ammo, you also make the point that, look, if you're going to go with a 3-inch or 2-inch barrel, here is a load that's going to give you more velocity out of that. And it may not be that it may be a difference in the burn rate of the powder as much as anything else. Would that be fair?
Right. Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. What's really interesting is that most of your handgun cartridges tend to flatten out at about 9 to 12 inches of barrel length. After that, they don't gain very much.
So they burned up all the powder by then?
They've burned up all the powder, exactly. But when you start looking at the magnums, 44 Magnum, 41, 357, 327, I was talking with a fellow about that earlier, you actually see they'll continue to gain power over the whole length of the 18 inches. So in some places you can see why these have become very viable carbine calibers.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. This is the kind of stuff. This is all about doing the what ifs, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did the work, and now everybody can play with it.
Okay. When you started this, did you have any idea what you were getting into?
Well, I knew it was going to be an awful lot of work, and it was funny because Jim Casper is one of the other principals behind BBTI, and he's an old buddy of mine from grad school, and, Jim was kind of like, oh, well, let's go ahead and do it. And I said, well, if we're going to do all this, let's put it up on the web. And he looked at me like I was nuts. He was like, there's not going to be more than a couple thousand people out there who are going to care about this. And I said, Jim, you do not understand gun culture. And now every time we talk about it, he's like, oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're just geeking out on this stuff, man. This is my kind of world. I love this. Now, and you also measured the difference in cylinder gap in revolvers.
Yeah, that was something that had also been something that we were curious about. How much of a difference does it really make with the cylinder gap? And when we did that, the standard had started to grow a little bit on the cylinder gaps. But we were still thinking, 6, 7, 8 thousandths of an inch is about standard. So we kind of checked in that range to see what the differences were. Mm-hmm. And it turned out there wasn't really as much of a cylinder gap issue as we thought. If you go all the way flush so that the barrel's completely tight, then it does make a difference. But beyond that, you lose about the same amount no matter what the gap is.
So you're basically losing some gases between the cylinder, the revolver cylinder, and the barrel.
And the forcing cone.
And the forcing cone of the barrel, yeah. So that's why you have that barrel, that gas that shoots out to the side, and that's energy that's being lost there.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Well, I just got to congratulate you. I think Ballistic by the Inch is like one of the cooler websites I've seen and one of the more insane projects. You guys are actually certifiable. You know that, right?
We've been told that, yeah.
Well, I think it's cool. I'm going to spend more time there. Ballistics by the Inch. It's ballisticsbytheinch.com. Jim, this is cool. Thank you so much for doing it and for coming on and telling us about it.
Hey, Tom, it was a pleasure.
All right, you take care. Yeah, you guys, you got to check this out. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, are you still on that website, honey? Yes, I am now comparing the 327 Federal with the 357 and with different barrel lengths and different bullet weights. And just go ahead and go to bed, honey. I'll come in later. 866-TALK-GUN.
Your everyday carry advantage. The new M&P Shield M2.0 pistol from Smith & Wesson has the enhancements of the M2.0 line with aggressive grip texture and a crisp and lighter trigger pull. Extremely thin and lightweight, you can carry it all day. Also available with an integrated crimson trace laser in 9 or 40. The M&P Shield M2.0. Visit smith-wesson.com.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro, designed for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light and featuring instinctive activation. Laser Guard Pro takes personal defense to the next level. Available now for the Smith & Wesson Shield. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you and to learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
Face it, sometimes more is better. That's the idea behind the double-stack full-capacity pistols from Springfield Armory. From the groundbreaking XD to the ergonomic XDM to the latest refinements in the XD Mod 2 series, You can get subcompact, midsize, and full-size pistols in 9, 40, and 45. Carry, target, or tactical models. Fast, accurate, dependable. Don't come up short when it matters. Go full cap. Go Springfield Armory. Springfield-Armory.com.
Back with you. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Woody's with us out of Ohio. Woody, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, thanks. Merry Christmas, and I'm having troubles with my trigger control. I'm hitting the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock positions of the target, and it's more so with the Glock 43 and not as much with my Glock 21.
Okay.
Any advice?
Yeah, let's back up. Obviously, the key there is just to aim higher. No, I'm just kidding.
Some Kentucky windage.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Hey, doctor, I'm hitting lower. Well, why don't you just aim higher? No, that's not the answer here. Okay. Well, first of all, let's back up. What distance are you shooting?
I practice at 25 feet.
25 feet. Okay. How much low are you hitting with any of them? Or do you hit low with the 21 and then more low with the 43?
That is correct. More so with the 43.
Okay. Have you tried have other people shot that gun, and does it shoot to point of aim for anybody?
It shoots quite well with a more accurate shooter. Yes,
okay.
I don't think it's the sights. I think
okay.
It's me.
We can't blame it on the sights. All right, we'll put that aside. Then we know where to look, don't we?
We do.
Okay, I got a drill for you that's going to fix it. I mean, literally, this will fix it. It's going to cost you about $5 to do this. You need to get you a half a dozen dummy rounds. Okay?
Okay.
And then actually you're going to have to get, let's see, Glock 43, that's 9 millimeter. So all you need is 9 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
When you load your magazine, I want you to mix live rounds and dummy rounds. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to go bang, bang, click. And when it goes click, you're going to see your front sight dip because you are pulling the trigger, you are milking the trigger, you're yanking the trigger, you're doing something to the trigger to pull it down. And when it goes click and you see the front sight dip down, you're going to be embarrassed and you're going to be mad at yourself. And that's a good thing because that's going to make you fix it. And then you keep shooting and it's going to go maybe click, maybe bang, you don't know. But the one thing you do know is I know it's going to go click one of these times. And I don't want to see that sight go dipping down there again because that makes me mad. So now you're going to really work on that trigger pull and just press it straight back so that when it goes click, nothing moves. And what you're going to see is two things. Is you're going to get back on target, but you're also going to reduce the size of your group by a huge amount.
Okay. Do you think there's a chance I have too much, let me just say, too much finger on the trigger?
Very possibly. What you need to be using the pad of your finger, not the crook of your finger. So, have a good grip on it, but just have the pad. And ideally, you want hold your right, are you shooting right-handed? You are, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold your hand up and like you're holding a pistol with that right hand, and you want that trigger finger as much as possible to be at a 90-degree angle and not like a whole curve. So you want to bend it as much as you can at the second knuckle and the second knuckle from the tip and come straight back with it as much as you can using the pad of the finger on the trigger to make a straight backwards press. Don't think of it as a pull. In fact, here's something I do, and it sounds weird, okay, but it works for me, is I actually say the word press, but I do it in a stretched out manner, so it's going to be a trigger press. And when I'm pulling the trigger, I think press, and it makes me just press that target backwards instead of pull it or yank it or anything. I swear to you, I know this sounds like, okay, that's just too easy and that's stupid. It will work. Dummy round, you can't do it any other way. You need dummy rounds to do this. So pick up a half a dozen of those, and the thing is, everybody needs it. If you shoot a lot, you still need it because you're going to get in bad habits, and this is how you diagnose those bad habits, because recoil covers up the trigger yank. You can't see the trigger yank because the recoil covers it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, Tom, I'll try that. And I just want to say I attended the pistol course at Front Sight in Nevada. Uh-huh. And wow, I am 10 times more safer gun owner than I've ever been after that course. So
getting that kind of training is an eye-opener, isn't it?
It is. It really is most quality instruction I've ever had. But, okay, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate your advice, and I'll move forward.
Thank you for the call, and good on you for taking charge of your own safety. Buddy's in Calico Rock, Arkansas on 2. Hey, buddy, what you looking for here? Whoop. Did we have Buddy?
Yeah,
hey, buddy, try it again, buddy. I think we got a bad cell phone there. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey there. I got you now.
Okay. I was just talking to the lady up front there, and my question to you, Mr. Tom, is do you know anybody that would make it's a carbine type semi-automatic 25-06? Just before you go into all that, I talked to the boys at Noreen, and they make one that's really close. It's not a 25-06, though. It's a 30-06, but I'm looking for the 25-06 specifically.
Why?
Well, it's just a flat shooting cartridge, Tom, and it's not the shoulder breaker that the 25-06 would be,
right?
Or the 30-06 would be.
I'm going to say
there's something lightweight.
I know. Let me throw this out because I don't have a lot of time. I don't know of anybody who's making what you're looking for, but I'm going to try to get you off of the 25-06 because that's a 30-06 case, neck down to 25. It's a longer case. You can get one that shoots just as flat, does just as well. Pick up any of several rifles now being chambered for the 6.5 Creedmoor. That would be where I would be looking right now. You're going to get all the ballistics that you're looking for. It's flat. It doesn't beat up your shoulder. Really good ammo. I would be looking for something probably on an AR-type platform in a 6.5 Creedmoor. I just think that's the cat's pajamas right now. So I love the 25-06, and I get it. And in a bolt gun, it's terrific. But I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows of a semi-auto 25-06. If you do, help me out. Give us a holler. Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. This is a reloaded version. We picked some selects for you for the holidays. Hey, you know, it's, of course, that time of year when we're all getting presents sent to us, and we're sending presents to other people, of course. I'm burning up Amazon, I tell you. But, yeah, when you get a present delivered to your house, a lot of times they leave it in front. Even sometimes, unfortunately, even when you tell them don't do that, they'll still leave it out in front. You want to know that it's out there. You want to know that it's been delivered. You want to know if somebody's come and taken it. The Blink cameras do that for me. I got these, I guess maybe two or three months ago, rather. Just little bitty guys. And I use the Blink cameras for security. I set them up, that way if anybody comes in, you get a notification. They got motion detectors. You can set them up outside, have motion detection. It'll send you a message. You can see the picture. You can see the video of somebody out there. It's a security issue. It's also a peace of mind issue. It's also just plain out utility. I think these are cool. You know what I like about them is that you don't have to have a professional install them. I've had the whole security camera thing in the house where they put in the DVRs and they put all that stuff in. This one, you just literally, it's 5 minutes. Plug it in, good to go. Works off of your Wi-Fi and hooks up to the app on your phone. It's pretty simple. We've got a deal going for you with Blink. The guys there, they say, look, you can get 3 of their cameras for what the other guys charge for just one. And if you use our Gun Talk code, you get an extra 10% off. So you go to blinkprotect.com/gun talk. That's blinkprotect.com/gun talk. Don't forget, you got to put gun talk in, all one word, uppercase or lowercase, into the discount field when you check out, and you'll get 10% off. blinkprotect.com/gun talk. Okay. Let's see. Kevin wants to talk about, well, guns. Big surprise, right? He's on line 3 out of Toledo, Ohio. Hey, Kevin, what you looking for here?
Tom, I'm looking for a touch of advice.
Okay.
Father was an Army Ranger in World War II. He has passed many years ago when I acquired his entire collection of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to pass them on to some of my cousin's children when my time comes, but I want to do it properly, legally, and so that Uncle Sam does not reach his bloody hands in and take things that my father passed on to me.
Sure. Got it. Okay. What are we talking about? How many, what kinds? First of all, let me back up. Is there anything here that needs to be, that is registered NFA stuff, semi or full auto or anything like that?
Nothing, sir. Predominantly, it's a lot of things such as World War II rifles, handguns, World War I things,
cool.
All the way back to, well, I had my father's original sidearm, his 1911.
Oh, okay.
I have also a Savage 1899, still in the original box, never opened.
I'll give you $100 just sight unseen for that one.
I bet you would. The receipt for it is still tied to the box.
Oh, that is so cool.
1899.
That is so
the
cool.
Same number.
All right. Here's my thought on this. Let's examine this. How old are the kids that you want to give them to? How old are the kids now?
All 3 of these young men are already United States Army veterans.
Easy. All right. That makes it easy. Here is my suggestion. This may not be what you were thinking, but I'm going to throw this out for you, okay? I would write something about each one, or about your dad, or about how they were acquired, or any kind of story you know about any of them. I would put it with each gun, and then I would give these guns to these gentlemen now.
That's the best news you could have told me, because I had already made that decision if it was allowed at the funeral when I met these fine young men.
It is allowed if they live in your state. Let's see. You are in Ohio. Okay. If they're in your state, you can just give it to them. If they're in another state, you need to transfer the guns to a firearms dealer in their state, and then they'll do the FBI, the NICS check, background check, and then they do that there, and then they belong to them, and they're legal. It's all perfectly legal. But if you give it to them now, you can tell them the stories, and you guys can share the stories, and you can enjoy the look on their faces and the conversations. And that's really what it's all about, man.
Yes, because unfortunately, I'm the final son of a final son of a final son.
I got it. I know it. You hit the end of the line there. So you want to hand these off to carry it along. And I'm with you. That's what you do. That's what you do. But document them, write up a little something on each of the guns if you have the information, and then do that. It will mean a ton to you, and trust me, it will mean a lot to them as well.
I thank you, and you have a Merry Christmas, sir.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yep, that's the deal, man. Don't wait till you're dead. If you want to give a gun to somebody, you want them to have it, give it to them now. That way they can talk to you about it. They can ask you about it. If it's a youngster, you can give it to the father or the parents, and they could give it to them. And you can take them out and have them shoot. You can introduce them to shooting with this. You can tell them the stories. I gave one of my father's guns to my granddaughter when she was born, and wrote a letter. This is a gun that was owned by your great-grandfather. And I said, your dad's going to keep it for you until you're old enough. And but I may or may not be here, hoping to be here, when she is old enough to shoot it. But at the very least, she has the letter and the story. I really suggest you consider that. Have you given a gun to anybody like that? Have you done that thing? Do you have guns in your will that you want to go to certain people? Do you think about that stuff at all, or do you just not worry about it? I'd love to know what your approach is to that whole subject. 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial me at Tom Talk Gun. Be right back.
Get ready for something totally new from LMT. A short personal defense weapon with an integral suppressor. Featuring new suppressor technology from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, the CSW, or Confined Space Weapon, has a 24-inch overall length profile and includes their new high-performance suppressor that can shoot supersonic and subsonic ammunition with no changes. Chambered for the 300 blackout, the CSW allows quick movement in tight quarters. For more, visit lmtdefense.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
The Ruger pistol that started it all is now even better. The Ruger Mark IV has the same great look as the Mark III, but now its simple one-button takedown means less time taking apart your gun and more time shooting it. Disassemble it in seconds for no hassle cleaning. Learn more about the Target, Hunter, and 2245 Light Mark IV series models at Ruger.com. The Ruger Mark IV, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
All right, we're back. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Eddie's in Riga, or Riga, depending on how way you like to pronounce it, in Michigan. Hey, Eddie, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes. I'm over here in a little southern Michigan place. Just a comment about the guy with the 22-250. Mm-hmm. If I had a gun that was cloverleafing at an acceptable range, I think I wouldn't mess with it very much. And it might be a good time to try the 25 caliber. I think here in Michigan, we can't use a 22 caliber for deer. Mm-hmm. So a 240-83 or a 6mm, one of the new 6mm might be a good option. Yep,
or the 6.5. Yeah, any of those would work very well. I think he was in Texas, our caller, so he can use the 22-250 for deer down there. And I think we kind of figured out there's no reason for him not to use the 60-grain nozzle partition bullet in a 22-250 with a 1 in 12 twist rate. I think that will work okay. He was concerned that the longer bullet wouldn't stabilize. And, it's the old deal of, go out and shoot it. In 5 rounds, you'll know. If you're getting impacts on the paper that look like you got a sideways bullet, you got a problem. Otherwise, go for it, right?
That's right. Like you say, try a few different cartridges in there, and if it works, good, and if it doesn't, go another direction.
Yep, exactly. I appreciate the call. Yeah, we had a 223 out one time, and it had a slower twist rate, and we were shooting some long bullets in it, And I'm telling you, at 25 yards, and I mean, it didn't take any time at all, any distance, we had bullets hitting sideways in the target. I mean, they were coming out and starting to tumble like right now. So you'll figure it out. If they are not stabilizing, you will definitely know. When you look at the target, you go, that's not right. Line 4, Jared's in South Jordan, Utah, with a range report. What you got there, Jared?
Hi. Hey, Tom. Hey, you've always been saying, hey, call in with range reports. Mm-hmm. I've never called in before, but you kind of inspired me to get a revolver. I already have one, but I just got the new Colt Cobra revolver.
What do you think?
I love it. I've been trying to get my hands on one because they're pretty rare to find.
Mm-hmm.
And a gun shop had one, but unfortunately it was already taken, but at least I was able to hold it, try the trigger.
Right.
Loved it. I mean, I've been trying, I liked how the grip was longer and you really get your hands on it for being a small revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And the trigger pull was really, really awesome, I thought. And we took it out. I got it ordered it from Davidson's, got it Friday, Black Friday it came.
Right.
We took it out Saturday out to the desert here and took a bunch of guns, a lot of guns, and shot it. And it shot great. And
It's a nice revolver. I got to shoot one of those when they before they came out. We were doing some video with it. And I'm like you, I like the feel, I like the trigger on it, and I'm just delighted that Colt has a double action revolver out. So that part of it makes me happy too.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely a learning curve, learning to shoot. Like we were shooting cans and stuff. But I had it to my son-in-law, and we had a steel gong set up at 100 yards. We were shooting ARs and other stuff, and my son-in-law points it at it, and first shot he hits it. And I tried 12 rounds, and I never could hit it. So he hit it 2 out of 6 times. So
that is great.
Cool.
All right, looks like you got a question about shotgun slugs also.
Just a quick question. I know I don't want to take up too much time.
Right.
So I've been kind of intrigued with slugs, and I've got a Browning A5 that's an older one that has a fixed barrel, and then I've also got a Mossberg turkey gun which has chokes you can put in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been hearing lots of different things saying you can, you can't. I'm just wondering what's safe if either of those two guns I can shoot slugs through, or if not, I've been looking at maybe getting more like a home defense.
Right.
To shoot slugs through.
The thing is, I probably don't want to shoot slugs in a full choke barrel. But other than that, you're okay shooting them in anything. If you've got one with screw chokes, then just go with a more open choke. It'll shoot just fine in there. For home defense, the thing to know about slugs is this. It will go through a lot of walls. Slugs do. You would be amazed, much more so than, say, a 223 won't really go through much at all, whereas a slug will punch through 2 or 3 walls in your house easy. So
I've heard you talk about that. But that's the type of gun I was thinking. I wouldn't be for home defense. If I was going to pull out a gun for probably inside for home defense, it'd probably be my AR. I mean, I use AR pretty much. And
honestly, I'm probably going to go with some kind of shot load, buckshot, or even in some cases, depending on the situation, there is an argument to be made for some birdshot loads for self-defense.
Yeah. But I was just wondering, just for more shooting, just for fun, we go out and shoot milk jugs all the time and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So slugs are great for that. They're hard on your shoulder, but they're fun.
But with the Browning with the fixed choke, it's like a 1955 Browning A5, and from the information I pulled off the internet, it's a modified choke that's fixed.
Look, here's the thing. It's probably okay, but since you said you're willing to go get another gun, I would go get a full-fledged home defense gun with sights on it, and you're going to have more fun shooting that, especially put a good recoil pad on it. I think you'll have more fun with that than anything else. And if you seriously want to shoot slugs and you want them to be accurate, then get a rifled barrel for your slug gun and then use sabot loads, and you will find that you can get hits consistently at 100 to 150 yards with sabot loads with a rifled barrel in your shotgun. Now you got a real tool rather than pressing those old guns into service. I think that's probably where I would end up. So, yeah. And you could get, if you got that Mossberg, you can actually get short barrels. You could get rifle barrels for it. You can get combos with different stocks and everything else. So you've already got what you need. Just start accessorizing it and go there. Hey, Charlie, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. I think that's an interesting comment. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. We're still talking about guns. Charlie has an interesting take on all this. He's on line 3 out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Charlie, what are you thinking here? We're talking about passing along firearms after you die.
Well, I just think y'all are doing it all wrong. I mean, y'all ought to be wearing them guns out, not giving them away to the kids.
I love it. That's great. Shoot them, man. Just get them out and shoot them. Wear them out so there's nothing left of them, right?
That's it. Just clanking nuts and bolts by the time you get through with them.
The problem with that is some of these guns you just can't wear out.
That's true. That's true. I've got guns that's been passed down to me from my father, so I know.
What do those guns mean? What do those guns mean to you?
Oh, everything. That's I can still pick the gun up that I saw my father hunting with. I'm getting a little emotional.
Yeah,
but,
I understand. And that's the whole deal. There's a connection. These are not just hunks of steel. These are stories, and they are connections to our fathers and our grandfathers, and sometimes our mothers. I got my mother's .257 Roberts rifle, and when you pick it up, you got the stories, you got the connection. So I get it, man. I understand exactly. And those are the ones you think, I'm not going to let those go, or I'm going to make sure they go to the right people. Because I've heard stories, and look, I appreciate the call. I've heard stories about people who died, and the relatives come in, and they don't know anything about guns. They don't care anything about guns, and they, basically just sell them off, and it's kind of great. I'd rather give it to somebody who wasn't in the family, who would appreciate it, than let that happen. Just figure out where you want them to go, and I still like the idea of giving them away. I just found a letter, by the way, of Dad wrote. He described his first gun. I happen to have that. At some point, we'll get a picture of that. We'll put it up on the website. Just thinking about, this and that, and I just saw an interesting phrase that somebody put out. He said, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. I thought, that's interesting. I was thinking about that this time of year when we can help other people. We can do things. There's always, my wife was a big proponent of downward comparisons. There's always somebody better or worse off, rather. All you got to do is look around, somebody who needs your help. And we, as the good guys and gals of society, we can do that. We can help people out. And I don't know, it's just kind of my pitch to say, hey, look around and figure out who you can help. And I don't care if it's veterans or homeless or youngsters who want to get involved in shooting or something. I can tell you from experience that when you have a purpose for your life, when you get up every day and you've got something you're going to be doing to help other people, it adds immeasurably to your life. Yeah, I know it's preachy, but I'm just thinking about Christmas coming up and all of that. It's just a time for reviewing that. Now, Tony and Frank, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you in on the after show. If you have not participated in the after show, you don't know what it is. Let me just tell you, we do more of this show than we broadcast, and it's available through our podcast in all the different ways of getting the Gun Talk podcast. It's also available on YouTube. We put all of our shows up on YouTube where you can see. We have thousands. By the way, if you don't know, we have thousands of videos on YouTube. We also just put up a whole new series of first-person defender shows of people getting attacked with simunitions and situations, an ATM robbery, an attack in a home, attack in an office, workplace violence, and see what people did. Some did it right, and a bunch of them did it really, really wrong. So you're going to want to see those. It's first-person defender. And look for those on our Roku channel, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, our YouTube, or just go over to guntalk.com. You can find them over there. But, it's that time of year, whether it's for you, if it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever it happens to be, it's that time for thinking about other people. Might be a time to make a gift of one of those guns to somebody in your family, youngster or somebody who would appreciate it. Include that letter. Tell them the stories, because the stories are what it's all about. Take care of your family. That's pretty much all you're going to have.